Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Lindgren. Cleanup efforts in the southern tier are continuing after Sunday's massive storm. As residents work to clear their sidewalks and driveways, a word of caution from a doctor to prevent injuries in the snow. Big Fox's Matt Kleindens joins us from Corning with those details in tonight's top story.
Good evening, Jennifer. One Guthrie doctor warned of the increased risk for injury after major snowstorms. He told me the snow and ice can cause unwanted visits to the ER. 2 days after the massive snowstorm reached the southern tier, residents throughout Corning are continuing to shovel out snow. It's days like these that Dr. Joseph Coy says can increase the risk for residents to slip and fall on snow and ice, causing varying degrees of injury.
After a storm like this, one of the more common things that we see in the hospital setting in the ER are more urgent things. Broken bones.
Dr. Choi advises residents to use caution when working outside in order to prevent falling.
You want to be in a well-lighted condition. Make sure you're wearing appropriate shoes.
He says icicles can pose danger for people shoveling outside and urges residents to either wear proper clothing or avoid icicles altogether.
Wear all your protective gear to cover your body. Also, obviously, avoid situations where if you could not be around icicles when they're falling down.
Dr. Choi also says people using snow blowers need to be smart when cleaning out clogged up snow.
Please don't stick your finger in there to dislodge the snow because you could do a lot. You could hurt yourself and do a lot of damage to your fingers.
He says people should take breaks from shoveling if you feel exhausted or are in pain. Matt Kleindens, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Governor Hochul unveiled a $216 billion budget for the 2023 fiscal year. Armed with increased tax revenue and an influx of federal pandemic aid, the budget calls for massive investments in health care and education, as well as property tax relief. Governor Hochul hailed the budget as a once-in-a-lifetime investment for the state of New York.
We have the means to respond to this historic moment with an historic level of funding. And what we have achieved with the blueprint I'm printing today is both a plan that is socially responsible and fiscally prudent.
Governor Hochul predicts New York will maintain a balanced budget with the historic investments through 2027. Former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says he will not run for governor of New York. De Blasio made the announcement on Twitter. In the video, the former mayor touted his successes and the successes in the city when he was mayor. But he says while he is not running for governor, he is, quote, going to devote every fiber of his being to fighting inequality in the state of New York. De Blasio left office on January 1st of this year after serving 8 years as the city's mayor. Meanwhile, New York's current mayor says schools won't be closing due to COVID. Mayor Eric Adams says despite concerns over the Omicron variant, New York is moving in the right direction.
The level of cases in New York City, they are declining. They are declining. We know that there's work to do and that there still remain a very high level, but we're seeing a leveling off, and we're seeing a decline because of what you did. You responded accordingly to this threat.
A growing number of job listings in New York City are offering remote work. Morgan Mackay has more on what's driving the trend.
The number of job listings in New York City advertising remote work has nearly quadrupled in just the last year, according to data analyzed by New York City Partnership.
With COVID-19, one of its impact points is that it's revolutionized the way that we think about where work needs to be performed. And in part because people are also reassessing sort of their work-life balance priorities.
Working from home for many families is more than just an opportunity to stay in sweatpants on the couch. For some, it can be a necessity, with childcare costs rising and schools switching at times to remote learning.
I think the companies that are still struggling with it are the ones that are still fighting the idea that this is the new norm. So I think once businesses embrace this and work collaboratively with their employees to try to find the right middle ground that allows for the business to continue to operate successfully.
A recent poll from Good Hire showed that given a choice, 68% of people across the country would choose to work remotely. and 45% would quit their job if they were forced to return to the workplace. New York City Partnership estimates that as of November, only 28% of workers in Manhattan were back at their desks. But the increase in remote jobs means fewer people taking public transit and fewer businesses taking up valuable real estate. A city comptroller report estimates that the city and state could lose hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue if this trend continues.
Restaurants do rely on those people in the offices. They rely on them for lunch business, that after work happy hour, business dinners, entertaining clients. That is a big part of the restaurant business.
Both Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams have been urging businesses to require that their employees return to the office. Mayor Adams telling banks they can't run New York City from home.
Starbucks, Chipotle, and McDonald's join the list of companies shortening store hours due to staff shortages. Starbucks announced this week that customers may experience a lack of products and services in some locations due to lack of staff. According to the Wall Street Journal, the popular food chain Chipotle is also having difficulty staying open with regular hours due to not having enough staff to cover the shifts. The Journal also reported other companies like El Pollo Loco, Shake Shack, and others are struggling with staffing and supply problems. Another deadly fire in the Bronx after a building collapsed this morning. An explosion at the apartment building lit off a massive fire and led to part of the building collapsing. One person died and at least 7 people were injured. Witnesses reported hearing at least 2 explosions. The fire today was about 3 miles south of the deadly fire in the Bronx earlier this month that killed 17 people. If you're thinking about buying your dream home in a hot real estate market, there's one thing you definitely want to avoid doing. According to real estate experts, one of the biggest mistakes first-time home buyers and even older buyers do is to waive home inspections in their desired houses. Experts say buyers do this to make their offer stand out from others. However, this can be a grave error, as they can later pay a lot more for plumbing issues and other problems the home may have. Therefore, experts recommend to ask for their inspections to be a fail or pass to avoid future costly problems. Coming up next, meteorologist Kim Walker has your Big Fox forecast. And later, do we now know who turned in Anne Frank's family to the Nazis? What a new review of the evidence suggests.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Hello everybody, it's Anna Bowles with your weather, brought to you in part by William Attar. Kim has the night off for this evening. So we're drying out, getting cloudy and cold, a couple of snow showers for today and then drying out, but getting very cold with a low of around 12 degrees for a low. So be sure to stay very, very warm for tonight. We do have more rain and snow showers possible late Wednesday into early Thursday with a big cold front moving through. After that, more Arctic air on the way with highs possibly not even escaping the teens real soon. Already that cold air rushing on right on in from north to south right into our area. Almost a 7-degree difference from this time yesterday in some spots in our neck of the woods. So we are drying out. We are partly sunny in store for tomorrow with highs back into the 20s, 29 degrees, but it feels like it's still going to be around the teens and even 23 degrees for the feels like as we head to early tomorrow morning as well. We do have very cold air rushing right on in. Not as cold air right to the west of us, but we do have more rain and snow showers possible as a big cold front moves through by late Wednesday as well. A high of around 40 degrees, well above average for this time of year. The normal high is 34. We're hitting 40 degrees, mostly cloudy to partly sunny skies in store for tomorrow. And then we do boost the rain and snow chances as we head into the evening hours. Not much, but rain and snow showers may dampen your drive home from work as we head to the evening hours as well. look at this. We do have more Arctic air spreading in from north to south right into our area real soon. Almost a teens for a high. That is it coming our way. Let's check out future radar as we head to tomorrow morning. Mostly dry and quiet, and then by the afternoon and evening hours, a couple rain and snow showers possible, but not much. You can see it hitting on the radar a little bit, but not accumulating snow is expected at this time. And then we dry out once again, just getting very, very cold after that in the teens once again. So here's tonight's forecast. Clearing Arctic air, mostly cloudy for a start with a low of 15 and then a high of 40. Mostly cloudy, but not as cold compared to the past several days. So back to above average, but we do boost the rain and snow chances in the evening. Our early snow shower possible on Thursday, but getting very cold already. A high of 21 on Thursday, into the teens we go by Friday. Look at that, in the negatives for next couple of nights. Be sure to stay warm and be prepared for the Arctic blast heading our way. We're slowly getting to the 20s, even near 30 for Sunday, and also more snow chances on the way as well.
At this point, most of us have thrown out our Christmas trees, but in Louisiana, those trees serve a very important purpose for the National Guard. Rebecca Castor reports on how these trees are helping our military.
The trees are part of a mission called the Christmas Tree Drop. It's a training exercise for the Louisiana National Guard where they'll practice skills they'll use in emergencies. It's a mission unlike any other for the Louisiana National Guard. Pilots haul bundles of old Christmas trees and drop them in the bayou. The operation not only helps rebuild the state's eroded coastline, but also allows crews to practice the valuable skills they'll use in more serious missions.
Repetition is the key to success. The more we get to do it, the better we get at it.
Chief Gabriel Ruiz says dropping Christmas trees is similar to deploying water, generators, and food after hurricanes.
To prepare for those situations, we use this mission just to train. That is the exact same type of slings, the exact same type of communication, training, mission prep, from a Christmas tree all the way to a very heavy generator.
The mission also helps the state's wildlife. In 2 decades, the National Guard has added about 200 football fields of marshland.
We use those trees to help rebuild habitats for different wildlife, for waterfowl and crabs and shrimp. All those things that you like about Louisiana, they'll have more area to rebuild those habitats.
Everybody normally wants to jump in this mission. People are already asking about who's going to be on the roster for this flight.
Cities will be collecting discarded trees for the next several weeks. The mission takes flight this spring.
A much hoped for boom from a California law is instead making some legal marijuana growers go to the black market. Marijuana industry insiders say that the passage of California's Proposition 64 in 2016 to legalize cannabis isn't working and giving the hoped for large profits. So many legal growers are doing dual operations and going underground. Wholesale prices plummeting 70% and taxes upward of 50% are key reasons. Illegal operations have also moved indoors to avoid detection. California's illegal market is estimated at $8 billion. AT&T and Verizon will delay launching new wireless service near some airports after the nation's largest airline said the service would interfere with aircraft technology and cause massive flight disruptions. The chief executive officers from the airlines wrote to federal authorities saying that 5G technology at airports could cause service disruptions, strand airport passengers, and cause shipping delays. Airlines say 5G could create interference with plane systems during landing and when using altimeters. AT&T said it would delay turning on new cell towers near some airports, while Verizon said it will limit 5G around airports. The airlines hope to have a 2-mile buffer around runways and control towers to prevent 5G networks from interfering with flight instruments. Advanced identification technology used by U.S. authorities is getting a second look over usage concerns. Facial recognition used at airports, Customs and Border Patrol is raising bipartisan concerns by 2 U.S. senators over data use and potential violations of privacy. Republican Missouri Senator Roy Blunt wants U.S. citizens inside the country to be able to opt out of recognition at airports. Blunt and Democratic Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley have written a letter to U.S. Customs asking for answers about privacy and data concerns. Tesla drops a key Far East parts supplier, turning to Africa instead. Tesla has signed a deal with an Australian company, Syra Resources, which mines graphite in Mozambique, Africa, for use of the material in batteries for its all-electric vehicles. Tesla's deal is designed to make its own batteries with less dependence on China as a source and to reduce concerns over using Chinese mines with environmental issues. The deal will begin in 2025. Terms of the deal were not announced. The case was cold, but over the last 5 years, researchers have painstakingly pieced together clues they believe helps solve the mystery of how Anne Frank's family remained successfully hidden from the Nazis for years, only to be eventually captured. Lauren Blanchard reports on who may have surrendered their locations to the Nazis.
The name of Anne Frank is not someone, it's the icon of the Holocaust.
To countless people around the world, Anne Frank resembles resiliency, hope, and compassion, even in the darkest of hours. But behind this extraordinary person lies a great deal of mystery and a dark, cold case. Researchers have wondered how the Nazis were able to find the Franks in their secret hideaway above a warehouse in Amsterdam. Now they may have their answers.
We have investigated over 30 suspects in 20 different scenarios, leaving one scenario.
While they aren't 100% sure, investigators have what they're calling the most likely scenario, identifying a Jewish man by the name of Arnold Vandenberg as their primary suspect, claiming Vandenberg allegedly gave Nazis a list of addresses where Jews were hiding in order to protect his own family from being sent to concentration camps.
I think the information the team came up with, it gives us, again, I would say, insights in ourselves, in what it means to be human under very difficult circumstances.
The team used an anonymous note written to Anne Frank's father after World War II ended, listing Vandenberg as having involvement in Frank's family's capture.
How did fascism creep between the cracks and corrupted every human relationship?
Historians say the findings are impressive, but warn about making serious allegations when researchers themselves claim to not have the full story yet.
A teenager in Georgia getting accepted into more than 40 of the more than 90 colleges she's applied to. Cheyenne Walker spoke to the teen who says her mother is her greatest inspiration to succeed.
Another day, another letter addressed to Monroe High School senior Kenyari Sawyer. The 17-year-old from Albany, Georgia, has been accepted to 48 schools of the 92 she applied to.
I started applying August the 1st. Out of my first two colleges I applied to was Cleveland and Mississippi, and I didn't think I was going to get accepted into those. Then I was like, hey, so this is how it goes. It's an easy process, and I just started going from there.
With total scholarship offers over $500,000.
She's been an all-A student all her life. Coming from Alice Coachman to Robert Cross Middle. From Robert Cross, she went to over here at Monroe. She's been an all-A student.
Kenyari is the oldest of 3 kids and says her biggest inspiration is her mother, who was unable to go to college because she was pregnant with her.
Mom is proud because I stopped her from going to college when she got pregnant with me. And so now that she's seeing that I'm getting outdoors, something that she wasn't able to do makes her proud.
Not only is Kenyari a 4.0 student at Monroe High School, she also plays soccer and has already started taking college courses.
I'm taking AP English and Composition, AP Biology and AP Statistics, and at Albany State. I recently just took juvenile delinquency, but I'm done with that class. And yesterday I started my new class, which is Survey of American History 1.
This afternoon, she held an information session at Monroe High School to teach her peers all of her secrets.
Don't be scared to go for what you want. If you want it, go for it. And don't let nobody talk down on you, because you do have those people out there that will do that. Show them, like, you said I can't do this, but I can, and I'm going to show you.
Kenyari says she hopes to attend one of her top 5 schools and major in criminal justice and later become a lawyer.
I want to get out, start my own law firm, but first I want to work up under someone so I can get a feel of it, and I want to become a defense attorney and then continue to level up my ranking.
Reporting in Albany, I'm Cheyenne Walker.
I worked with both the Bucks and the NFL to get you and your family Super Bowl tickets this year in LA. We certainly hope to be there, but I know you're going to be there. It's going to be really cool for all of us. So,
the greatest quarterback in NFL history is surprising a young cancer survivor. Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady sending a video to 10-year-old Noah Reeb, surprising him with tickets to the Super Bowl. Reeb, a brain cancer survivor, caught Brady's attention earlier this year when he held up a sign at a game between the Bucs and the Bears. In a video, Brady praised Reeb for his fight and surprised Noah and his family with tickets to Super Bowl 56. Very cool. From our whole team, thank you for joining us. We hope you have a great night.